Most men think performance begins in the bedroom, but what if I told you it actually begins in the quiet moments before sleep, in the way you care for your body when no one is watching, in a simple nighttime oil ritual that can slowly reawaken confidence, stamina, and intimacy from the inside out. The truth is that male performance is rarely just about desire. It is about circulation, hormonal balance, nervous system regulation, and the deep connection between mind and body, and a carefully practiced nighttime oil routine can become a powerful anchor that supports all of it. Throughout history, cultures across the world have used oils not only for skin health, but for vitality, relaxation, and sensual strength, understanding that touch, warmth, and nourishment work together to restore masculine energy in a way that pills and quick fixes never truly can. When we talk about a nighttime oil routine, we are not talking about something complicated or extreme, but about consistency and intention. The body responds to rhythm, and when you create a nightly ritual, you signal to your nervous system that it is time to shift from stress into restoration. And that shift alone can dramatically improve blood flow and testosterone stability over time. Many performance struggles are rooted in chronic stress, poor sleep, and tension stored in the hips and pelvic region, and applying warm oil to the lower abdomen, inner thighs, and surrounding muscle groups with slow, mindful movements can help release that tension while encouraging circulation. Oils such as cold-pressed sesame oil, almond oil, or even infused herbal oils rich in natural antioxidants can nourish the skin and underlying tissues. But more importantly, the act of slow self-massage increases parasympathetic activation, which is the branch of your nervous system responsible for relaxation and arousal balance. When the body feels safe and relaxed, arousal becomes more natural and sustainable rather than forced or anxious. A powerful nighttime oil routine also enhances sleep quality, and sleep is one of the most underestimated factors in male sexual performance. Deep sleep regulates testosterone production, repairs tissues, and strengthens cardiovascular health, all of which directly influence stamina and firmness. By massaging warm oil into your shoulders, chest, and lower back before bed, you reduce cortisol levels and prepare your body for deeper rest. Over weeks, this improved sleep can translate into more consistent morning vitality and stronger intimate responsiveness. There is also a psychological layer that cannot be ignored. When a man dedicates even 10 minutes each night to caring for his body, he begins to rebuild a relationship with himself that is rooted in respect rather than pressure. Instead of measuring performance only by outcome, he reconnects with sensation, breath, and presence. This shift in mindset reduces performance anxiety, which is one of the most common yet least discussed contributors to inconsistency. Anxiety constricts blood vessels and disrupts the natural arousal cycle, while relaxation expands it. The warmth of oil combined with intentional breathing while applying it can retrain the body to associate intimacy with calm confidence rather than fear of failure. Another key aspect of this routine is mindful breathwork during application. As you massage the oil into the lower abdomen and pelvic area, slow diaphragmatic breathing increases oxygen delivery to tissues and improves vascular response. Over time, this enhances endurance and sensitivity without overstimulation. The goal is not aggression or intensity, but balance and resilience. Many men unknowingly carry tension in the pelvic floor muscles, which can restrict blood flow and shorten endurance. Gentle nightly massage encourages awareness of that region and can help release unconscious clenching. When tension decreases, control improves. Hydration of the skin and underlying fascia through oil application also supports elasticity, which plays a subtle but important role in comfort and sensation. Additionally, certain oils contain natural compounds that support circulation and reduce inflammation, contributing to healthier tissue response over time. However, the magic is not in a miracle ingredient. it is in repetition. When practiced consistently, this ritual becomes a signal of self-leadership. It tells your body that you are investing in long-term vitality rather than chasing instant solutions. Intimacy is deeply affected by confidence, and confidence grows from discipline and self-trust. Each night you show up for this routine, you strengthen that trust. Over several weeks, many men report not only improved physical performance, but also a stronger emotional presence with their partner. They feel less rushed, less distracted, more connected. The simple act of touch conditions the brain to experience closeness as safe and enjoyable. Even men who struggle with fluctuating desire often notice a steady return of interest as their nervous system stabilizes and their sleep deepens. It is important to emphasize that this routine is not about obsession or excessive stimulation, but about nourishment. Gentle warmth, slow circular movements, and unhurried breathing are the foundation. Think of it as conditioning the body for intimacy, the same way an athlete conditions muscles for performance. You are strengthening the systems that support endurance, rather than forcing the outcome. Over time, this can translate into firmer responsiveness, longer stamina, and a more grounded masculine presence that your partner can feel. There is something profoundly empowering about knowing that improvement is happening quietly each night while you sleep, that the restoration process is unfolding naturally because you chose consistency. In a world that pushes instant gratification, this slow ritual stands apart as a practice of patience and self-respect. And perhaps the most beautiful outcome is not just enhanced performance, but a renewed sense of intimacy with your own body, which then radiates outward into your relationship. When a man feels balanced internally, intimacy stops being a test and becomes an expression. This is where the true transformation begins, in the small nightly commitment that builds strength, calm, and connection from the inside out. As this ritual deepens, the next layer is understanding that timing and temperature matter more than most men realize. The oil should be gently warmed, not hot, just slightly above body temperature, so that when it touches your skin, it feels comforting rather than shocking. Warmth signals safety to the nervous system and encourages blood vessels to expand, which supports circulation throughout the lower body. Ideally, this routine is done 30 to 60 minutes before sleep, after a warm shower when pores are open and muscles are relaxed. The shower itself becomes part of the preparation, washing away the day's stress so that when you step out and begin the massage, your body is already transitioning into restoration mode. Begin by applying a small amount of oil into your palms and rubbing your hands together until you feel the warmth spread. Place your hands over your lower abdomen and pause for a few breaths. This pause is not insignificant, it anchors your attention. Many men rush through self-care as if it is another task to complete, but the power of this ritual comes from presence. As you breathe slowly through your nose, allow your abdomen to expand fully, then exhale gently, feeling your body soften. With each breath, imagine tension dissolving from the pelvic area, hips, and inner thighs. These regions are deeply connected to sexual vitality, yet they often remain tight from long hours of sitting, stress, and unconscious clenching. Using slow circular motions, massage the lower abdomen in a clockwise direction, applying moderate pressure without discomfort. This movement supports digestive health and blood flow, both of which indirectly influence hormonal balance and energy levels. From there, move to the hip flexors and inner thighs, using upward strokes toward the heart to encourage circulation. These muscle groups supply blood to the pelvic region, and when they are relaxed and nourished, performance naturally improves. The goal is not to focus narrowly on one area, but to treat the entire region as an integrated system. As you continue, bring awareness to your pelvic floor. Many men do not realize how much they tense this area during stress or even during intimacy. Gentle massage around the base of the pelvis combined with slow breathing can teach those muscles to release. When pelvic floor tension decreases, endurance often increases because the body is not fighting itself. Over time, you may notice improved control and reduced premature fatigue simply because the muscles are functioning in harmony rather than under strain. Another powerful addition to this routine is intention setting. While massaging, mentally affirm strength, calmness, and vitality. This may sound subtle, but the mind plays a significant role in sexual response. If your inner dialogue is filled with doubt or past disappointments, your body responds accordingly. Replacing that narrative with confidence and gratitude gradually reshapes your emotional state around intimacy. The brain does not sharply distinguish between imagined and real experiences. Repeated positive reinforcement can rewire anxious patterns. Consistency is essential. The first few nights may feel unusual or even slightly awkward, especially if you are not accustomed to intentional self-touch without immediate stimulation. But after a week or two, the body begins to anticipate the ritual. Sleep deepens more quickly, morning energy feels steadier, sensitivity becomes balanced rather than overly reactive. This is where many men begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes. They may wake with stronger morning vitality or experience improved responsiveness during intimacy without forcing anything. It is also important to support this ritual with hydration and nutrition. Oils nourish externally, but internal nourishment amplifies results. Healthy fats, adequate protein, and micronutrients like zinc and magnesium play a critical role in testosterone production and vascular health. When combined with a nightly oil routine, these factors create a synergistic effect that strengthens overall performance. Beyond the physical, this ritual can transform the emotional climate of a relationship. When a man feels grounded and confident, he approaches intimacy with patience rather than urgency. Instead of chasing performance as proof of worth, he becomes more attentive to connection. Partners often sense this shift immediately. Eye contact lasts longer, touch becomes slower and more deliberate. The pressure to perform is replaced by a shared experience of pleasure and closeness. Some couples even choose to integrate the oil ritual together, turning it into a bonding practice. When done mutually, it fosters trust and vulnerability. However, even when practiced alone, the internal benefits radiate outward. One of the most overlooked aspects of sexual performance is emotional regulation. Anger, frustration, and chronic worry can dampen desire and impair function. The repetitive, soothing motion of oil massage acts as a meditative practice, lowering heart rate and calming the mind. Over weeks, this can significantly reduce background stress levels, making arousal more natural and spontaneous. You begin to feel less like you are trying to achieve something and more like you are allowing something to unfold. There is also a cumulative effect on tissue health. Gentle massage improves lymphatic drainage, reduces minor inflammation, and supports flexibility. These physiological shifts might not be dramatic overnight, but they build quietly. Just as muscles grow stronger with consistent training, your intimate vitality strengthens with consistent care. Patience is the key ingredient. Many men abandon routines too early because they expect immediate transformation. The real power lies in sustained practice over several weeks or months. With time, this ritual becomes less about boosting performance and more about maintaining balance. It becomes a moment of solitude where you reconnect with your body and release the expectations placed upon you throughout the day. In that quiet space, confidence grows organically. You begin to trust your body again. Intimacy stops feeling unpredictable and starts feeling steady. That steadiness is profoundly attractive and deeply satisfying for both partners. And as this foundation strengthens, there is one more dimension to explore, one that ties physical vitality directly to emotional depth and long-term masculine presence. That final dimension is where this practice stops being a routine and becomes a quiet transformation of identity. When you repeat a behavior every night with intention, you are not just influencing circulation or sleep cycles, you are shaping the way you see yourself as a man. Most performance struggles are not rooted in physical incapacity, but in fractured self-trust. Somewhere along the way, perhaps after stress, aging, comparison, or one disappointing experience, doubt entered the body. And doubt is powerful. It tightens muscles, shortens breath, speeds the heart, and pulls you out of the present moment. What this nighttime oil ritual does, beyond all the physiological benefits, is slowly rebuild trust between your mind and your body. Each evening you show up calmly, without pressure, without urgency, and you give your body warmth, touch, and breath. You are teaching yourself that intimacy is not a test to pass, but a state to inhabit. Over several weeks, something subtle begins to shift. You may notice that you no longer obsess over outcomes. Instead of worrying about duration or intensity, you become more attuned to rhythm and connection. This is because your nervous system has been retrained nightly to associate touch with relaxation rather than performance anxiety. The body remembers safety. When you enter intimate moments from that place of safety, responsiveness becomes more natural and sustained. Blood flow improves not because you forced it, but because your system is no longer constricted by stress. Endurance lengthens not because you are clenching harder, but because you have learned to relax more deeply. Control improves not through tension, but through awareness. This awareness is one of the most underestimated aspects of male vitality. A man who feels his body clearly can modulate sensation, pace, and intensity with far greater ease than one who is disconnected from his own physical cues. The nightly ritual strengthens that connection. It increases sensitivity in a balanced way, allowing you to feel more without becoming overwhelmed. And with that balanced sensitivity comes confidence that is calm rather than aggressive. Many partners describe this change as a shift in presence. They feel that you are more there, more attentive, less distracted. That presence is magnetic because it communicates grounded strength. It says you are comfortable in your own skin. The oil itself becomes symbolic. It represents nourishment rather than depletion. So many men approach sexuality from a place of exertion, as if it requires pushing harder or proving something. This ritual reframes the entire narrative. It reminds you that vitality grows from care. Just as skin becomes healthier when consistently moisturized, your intimate system becomes stronger when consistently supported. Over time, the cumulative effects compound. Improved sleep enhances testosterone stability. Reduced stress protects cardiovascular function. Relaxed pelvic muscles support better control. Balanced breathing increases oxygenation. Each small improvement reinforces the next. And because the changes are gradual, they feel natural rather than artificial. There is no spike followed by a crash, no dependency on external stimulants. Instead, there is steady resilience. Perhaps the most profound outcome appears in how you carry yourself outside the bedroom. When you trust your body intimately, that confidence spills into posture, tone of voice, and decision-making. You move differently. You speak differently. You engage with your partner from a place of grounded assurance rather than subtle insecurity. Intimacy becomes less about validation and more about shared pleasure. That shift transforms the emotional climate of a relationship. Conversations feel more open. Physical affection becomes more spontaneous. The fear of failure no longer lurks in the background, so connection flows more freely. Even on days when desire feels lower or energy fluctuates, you remain steady because your identity is not tied to a single moment of performance. It is anchored in consistent self-care. This is the deeper secret of the nighttime oil routine. It is not magic in a bottle. It is discipline combined with compassion. It is the willingness to slow down in a fast world and invest in the foundations that truly matter. When practiced over months, it becomes a ritual of self-respect. And self-respect is undeniably attractive. Your partner feels it in the way you touch, in the patience you bring, in the confidence that does not need to announce itself. Ultimately, boosting performance is not about chasing intensity, but about cultivating balance. Strength without tension, sensitivity without fragility, desire without desperation. The quiet 10 minutes before sleep become the training ground for that balance. And as you drift into deeper rest each night, your body continues repairing, regulating, and strengthening itself. The transformation may begin with oil on your skin, but it ends with a renewed sense of masculine vitality that radiates far beyond the bedroom. When you look back after several months, you may realize that the greatest improvement was not just physical endurance or firmness, but the restoration of calm confidence and emotional depth. Intimacy becomes an expression of wholeness rather than a performance under pressure. That is the true power of this nighttime ritual. It starts quietly, it grows steadily, and it reshapes not just how you perform, but how you feel about yourself and how deeply you connect with the person beside you.